Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Anime Yay or Nay. I'm TheOutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm cheating you.
And I'm NV Jitters.
And we watched Digimon this week. More specifically, we watched the Digimon movie. Fantastic, wonderful, 10 out of 10. Everyone loved it, right?
I liked it.
Everyone loved it, right? Everyone loved it, right?
Yes, right.
Right. Good. Okay, so let's talk about it. So, this is an interesting one because it doesn't exist in a subtitled version. The Digimon movie, air quotes, is a series of 3 OVAs from Japan, from the Digimon series that, put together with some flimsy transition, becomes a movie. So, yeah, is an anime that only exists in English. And we made sure to get the full home VHS experience. Let's talk about Angela Anaconda.
Can we
So
not?
this show,
I've only heard of the show. I've never actually watched the show.
I've
never
seen this
watched
show.
it?
I never heard of the show until last year when I saw a YouTuber review it.
I do remember watching it as a child. I really do.
Yeah.
Yep, it was a thing. It was a thing between episodes of Digimon.
What channel was it on? Because
Fox
I don't
Kids.
Nickelodeon or Fox Kids.
Yep.
I was like, it's either Nickelodeon or Fox.
It was Fox Kids. Yep.
One of the two.
I remember watching it on Nickelodeon.
Might have had been syndicated. I don't know.
Oh wait, yeah, I think they did reruns on Nickelodeon. So that could have been it.
For those of you who aren't aware or were blissfully ignorant of it all, Angela Anaconda is what happens when you make a kids show out of Terry Gilliam cartoons from Monty Python. And
That's an insult to Monty Python.
it's a little bit. It got 4 seasons though. We talked about that. Thank you, Canada. Oh, it's not that long. It's maybe a minute long, but you get the pain. You feel the pain, the weird. I don't know. Were they trying to be Doug with the whole fantasy series thing? Like, oh, here's my life, and then I'm gonna think about it in an imaginative and crazy way, like whenever Doug talks to his journal or whatever. I don't know.
You see, my problem was that the animation, it was bad, and the voice of Angela is irritating, to put it lightly.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yep.
Yeah. It really is the point.
And me being a kid who had a VCR when this movie came out and didn't know how to fast forward, was never able to escape Angela Anaconda whenever I watched this thing 3 times a week. Might explain bits and bobs of my personality at this point. But enough pain. Let's get to the start of the movie, where we can feel more pain when you tell me about what your thoughts on the Digi-Rap are.
I love the Digi-Rap.
You love the
I mean-
Digi-Rap?
I mean,
love it.
the opening, like,
Yeah.
Digimon. Yeah, I mean, I gotta admit, I obviously heard of it all the time growing up as a kid. Like, everyone would in my school would play it, but like the fact that they played it literally every single time the Digimon transformed in the movie.
Oh, I'm not talking about that part.
cr-
I'm talking about
Oh.
the actual
intro.
the One Piece intro
Oh,
that
the
we got.
intro. Okay.
Yeah. Like,
We all know the Digimon theme song. It's a
Yeah.
classic. It's
I
an
mean,
earworm at the very least.
It is. Like, it's definitely, like, one of the few things that will stick with you from the show as you get older, for sure.
Oh yeah. We got more.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the rap at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, so that was a thing back in the day. I'm pretty sure that's where 4Kids got the idea to put a rap song for One Piece whenever they dubbed that. Another stroke of brilliance by them. We should watch more 4Kids stuff at some point. This is just making me miss those days.
We should.
Oh, they're
You
so
could always
bad
watch
and
the
yet
Kirby
so
series.
good.
Kirby!
I watched all 100 episodes of that in
How many
college, mind you,
episodes?
not as a kid. 100.
That's a little long.
You
It
get
is.
you get deep Southern King Dedede and sexy Spanish Meta Knight.
All right, I'm sold. It's it sounds weird enough.
I actually do remember finding it quite entertaining as a kid.
Maybe we just do the highlights of the series. I don't know. We'll see. In any case, we should talk about Digimon. So, like we said, this thing is in 3 parts, basically. And, I mean, because, yeah, it's a series of OVAs. So, do you guys know where this all stands in the Digimon timeline? Do I got to go into some info dumpy stuff? I watched this with Yin, and I had to do a little bit of info dumping here and there.
Yeah, it jumps around.
Yeah, okay. For those of you who don't know anything about Digimon, go watch the Killian Experience for dubbed Digimon because he has it's the most accurate and perfect description of the world's most perfect show. But a quick recap on my end. Bunch of kids are at summer camp. They get magic meteors fall out of the sky, turn into little computer devices, and then a tidal wave swallows them into an isekai, where they meet talking Pokemon that become even bigger and more roided out Pokemon. And then they fight evil monsters, go back to reality, realize that the monsters follow them to reality, then go back again to the isekai and blow up a bunch of evil people, and then they realize, oh, we can't keep our Digimon because everyone has to stay back there because the portal's closing, and they left. And then there's a season 2 where the portals are all open and Digimon are in the world and Digimon are out of the world and Digimon are everywhere. Everything is Digimon. Anyway, part 1 happens 4 years before any of that shit happens. And I think they make mention of it. 8 years? Yeah, well, it's 4 years before the main series, and 8 years before the second series.
Gotcha.
It's like, part 1 is before the main series. Part 2 is between the first series and the second series, and then part 3 is somewhere in the middle of the second series. We're not sure where.
Got you.
Yeah. So part 1 is about and first off, everything is heavily narrated by Kari, which I'm like just realizing how much they were doing that to try to piece these things together.
Yeah.
She's baby Kari now, and her big brother Tai and her are like looking at the computer, and an egg pops out of it, and what does it turn into? It's kind of like a little rice cake with eyes.
It's basically like a little shadow cat head with golden eyes.
Yeah, shadow cat head. That's a good way of describing it. It blows bubbles at people to the tune of Digimon because it's meta.
Yep.
But then it turns into a cracked out rabbit head.
Yeah.
And it starts making out with everybody.
It does.
I'm trying to describe this in a way where someone's never seen Digimon is just describing whatever's happening. So yeah,
I think I felt like watching it for the first time.
Yeah, the talking crackhead rabbit says he's a Digimon. Or, sorry, not talking crackhead rabbit. Talking cracked out rabbit head. You gotta get your adjectives in the right spot. So the talking cracked out rabbit head says that he's a Digimon and that he's friends with everybody now, and he poops on their floor. And then in the middle of the night, he turns into a dinosaur who the little girl hops a piggyback ride on, flies out of their apartment, destroying part of it. Just kind of takes a stroll around town, blows up some vending machines, sets a couple things on fire. And like, I love the part where he blows up a telephone booth and Kari just realizes, oh my god, I am riding a monster. It's like she had no... I'm like, people are like, there's like always been like stuff about Pokemon where it's like, you have really, really dangerous creatures that you're just walking around with. And I feel like that is like the first time where it's like, oh my god, if Digimon were real, this is how people would react to finally seeing it. Or like if Pokemon were real or something. Like, oh my god, I am on a dragon that could kill me. And yeah, but it did lead to one, like, that was my favorite line in the movie is where The dinosaur walks into traffic. I know who it is. It's Agumon, by the way. I know all these guys. But he walks into traffic and nearly gets hit by a truck. He jumps over the truck, and the truck driver is like, "Oh my god, did you see that?" "No, I was sleeping." But you're driving.
And this is where 4Kids got their idea also for hilarious one-liners.
Yes, and you can thank Saban for that, because I'm pretty sure that was... Oh god, am I gonna have to check this? I think it was Saban who did this. Same guy who did Power Rangers, who they make reference to later.
Yes, yeah, it's Saban.
Yes. I know my 90s dubbing companies and kids lineup. Saban owned Fox Kids, man. I don't think he actually owned Fox Kids, but his lineup is like Power Rangers and Digimon. What else was on there? I know there was other things on there. We talked about Angela Anaconda. We don't want to talk about Angela Anaconda. There's other things. We'll talk about it at another point.
The X-Men show was on there.
That's true. And Batman, before Kids WB took Batman because they own DC. What else? Right, Digimon. Let's talk about more Digimon. So yeah, a parrot monster falls out of the sky while Tai is trying to find his sister and Agumon, and a parrotmon shows up, and well, lo and behold, kids, we got ourselves a good old-fashioned kaiju battle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Agumon
It was
becomes
actually a pretty good fight for
Yeah, they got a way better budget, way better animation. The dinosaurs actually look like what I got a bit of Land Before Time vibes.
Yeah.
From Greymon a little bit. It was pretty cool. Kind of moved like a dinosaur I would have seen in Jurassic Park or something. It was nice. It was really good. And they have a 5-minute fight. I'm realizing now how short this whole thing is. It felt like a big, long, epic battle whenever I was like a kid watching it, but now it's like, oh, I'm like, okay, so this is like barely an hour and a half. But yeah, so Greymon's getting his ass kicked by the parrot, but then they whistle him back to life, and through the power of friendship, he becomes superpowered and just wrecks shit. He blasts them with the Nova Blast that just whites out everybody, and then they're gone. And I think in the actual series, whenever they kind of make mention of it, like this event that the OVA is about. And I think none of the adults were able to see the Digimon at the time, and like only the kids were able to see it. It was like a weird, I don't know. It's weird because they could see Digimon way later in the series, but a lot of people moved out of that area because it was labeled as a terrorist attack, like a bombing or something. Which explains all the destruction, and people didn't go crazy because there were giant kaijus running around. So that's the end of that. That was everyone's first experience with Digimon, which they barely remember until it's brought up way later in the first series. Then we skip ahead to after the first series, after everyone's got on the trolley car to go back into the sky and return to their world. Yeah, it's an isekai. We know what we're in for. There's a computer virus that latches onto another Digi-Egg, and Izzy, the brains of the operation, is like checking it out, and he's like, oh my god. And then it hatches, and then it starts eating data, and then it starts doing a bunch of other stuff, and people are like, hey, this is bad, we should stop this from happening. So he goes and sees Tai, and he's like, hey, this thing is growing way too fast, and it's starting to eat the internet and mess with a whole bunch of things, so we should probably get our Digimon in there to stop it. So Agumon and Tentumon, and well, yeah, they're the only ones who are prominent in the first half. There's some other people later, but they show up, they fight the thing, and they're like, well, we gotta get a little more power, so we're gonna Digivolve, and they Digivolve into Greymon and Cafeteriamon, and then they start fighting, but it Digivolves, and it's a problem because it skipped a level, it cheated, it went straight to Ultimate, skip Champion, and it kicks their asses. They try to evolve the Ultimate, but they can't. It's too fast because they're getting slow. They're slow because they're getting emails from everyone. Because for some reason, everyone can see this on the internet.
Yeah, like there were just a bunch of people all watching it on screens like early day YouTube. I'm like, what
And it's
are
Early
all
you
day
kids and
YouTube?
young.
Are you
It's all
kidding me?
kids and teenagers. No adults are watching this. No adults around the world are worried that the internet is
Yeah, there
slowly.
were. I think.
I mean, yeah, but
there were like
no
some
one was doing
Buddhist
anything.
monks in Tibet who were checking it out. They cut to like everybody and their mother in this section.
Yeah.
Speaking of mothers, Ty's mom, hilarious.
Oh my-
love her.
She's so funny.
So funny. She's great.
Yeah.
All the zany recipes that she makes.
Yep.
Oh, I love
And then
that.
she
Izzy,
makes
you,
Izzy
you
sick.
stupid fool.
Like beef jerky shakes or whatever.
You guys want something to drink?
Spinach
I just got
Potato.
some onion
cookies.
juice.
Potato juice, yeah.
Do I have enough of this? I don't know. I've never used flour to make a cake.
I love that.
It's like they had this thing of like back in the day where they were always like trying to slip a joke in. Like they had a joke quote, I feel like, for a lot of lines. And you see it in here. And sometimes they're misses. But when they hit just right. Like, I always gotta
Yeah.
hand it to them for that.
There were a fairly good number of solid one-liners in this that I was at least cracking a smile at. That I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, that was a good one. Haha. Okay, moving on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they were funny.
But anyway, they gotta fight the thing on the internet and they gotta get more people. So they play phone tag a little bit, and you get to see what everyone else has been doing. Joe's off in cram school and junior high trying to get his doctorate, which I think he does eventually. Mimi's off in America doing her, she just lazy. Sora's being
She's
a
in
tsundere,
Hawaii.
and yeah. Matt and TK are out in the country, so they can barely get anything done. Kari's at a birthday party giving Power Rangers to people. I'm like, priorities, So, but they get Matt and TK to go to a barber shop, which has a computer, and they get on the internet so they can fight again and do a thing. And they're realizing all these kids sending them emails is like causing problems. It's slowing down their modem and all this other stuff. So it's causing like problems for their Digimon.
Every day I get emails.
Yep.
It's like that meme.
And then, how do I describe this? Well, the Digimon kind of messes with everybody's internet connection. So Izzy hacks a military spy satellite to get internet access. And I'm like, I don't know what all the laws are in Japan, but I think he's a cyber terrorist now.
I mean,
It's
He
all for the
literally
greater
said the
good.
words, hack a military satellite.
I mean, it's anime. Kids can do unrealistic stuff all the time.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure you get thrown to a black site after that.
Oh yeah.
But it's cool because the Digimon launched nukes, and we got to worry about that now. And he's just roaming through the internet, and they're like trying to catch up to him and get their Digimon up to speed. And they do catch up finally. They find him, and they're like, okay. I think I jumped the gun on the nukes. I think that's a little bit later. But they're like, all right, we got 4-on-1 now. We're going to do our cheat code and jump straight to mega level, skip everything else. I gotta tell you, it was one of the coolest moments I had ever seen whenever I was a kid. I first saw that in the show. It's like, oh my god. I thought the giant metal dinosaur was amazing, and now dragon warriors and missile firing super wolves. I'm realizing how condensed these OVAs are. It's like, you don't get a lot of the great build up to whenever they got the new Digimon forms like you did in the show. Which kind of sucks, but at the same time, you get a nice showcase of everything. They got War Greymon and Metal Gurumon fighting this guy, and he digivolves again and just starts beating everybody up again because they're too slow. The emails are fucking everybody up. And because they got 90s internet, they're still on dial-up.
yeah.
If that's something to think about right now. I mean, like, is anyone else getting, like, weird, like, wow, remember when that was a thing?
Yeah, like they mentioned that, like, oh, they're jamming all the phone lines. Like, if we lose
Yep.
our phone, we lose our internet connection. And I'm just like,
I
this
remember when
hasn't
that was a
happened
thing.
for years. Oh God, this is really dating this thing.
Yeah, then the line, he went to the phone company. He's like, what does he want? 50 free hours of internet? I'm like, yeah, do you remember when they, like, sent you discs in the mail that allowed you to connect to the internet, or floppy disks, or CDs? And it was like, you get this many hours of internet. That was a thing.
I remember when me and my mom tried to boot up our computer, and it took like 10 minutes to boot up if we were lucky.
Yeah.
I remember,
God, how far we've come.
like,
Yeah.
it's just unreal. Like, I even remember, like, older smartphones, like, if you had them next to a computer speaker, like, you could literally hear, like, the text message coming in through the speakers when it got to your phone.
Yeah.
And that was, like, God, what?
2007.
Yeah. Whew. That's 13 years, man.
I was in high school. Yeah.
I was in middle school. But yeah, I remember
It'd
that.
make me feel old. I think we're all feeling old watching this.
Yeah.
Dial-up modems and hacking spy satellites.
We're definitely
I shouldn't say it was a
aging
spy satellite.
ourselves.
He didn't specify spy satellite, but definitely a military satellite. So yeah, they get their butts kicked. They have to rally through the power of friendship while Diaboromon is duplicating himself on the internet a whole bunch of times. He's getting close to finding whoever he's looking for, because he's looking for somebody. We don't know who. We have an idea who. If you have half a brain, you know who it is. It's the guy they keep bringing up. And there's a missile head for Colorado. Who do we know in Colorado that we keep talking about was from Colorado?
Willis!
Yeah. And a nuke is flying towards their apartment.
Yep.
Okay. We got 10 minutes to live, everybody. Let's go try to fight him again just after a short rest. And so they do. And he's already in the millions. And I always kind of had a problem with this, is they're in these big circular bubble areas that are meant to represent the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And he's crawling all over the walls, and he's like literally covering every surface. And these guys
Like
just
a spider.
sitting.
Ugh.
Yeah, he's like, I kind of got a roach vibe, but he's
Ugh.
the good guys are kind of sitting in the middle, and everyone's just firing. And I'm like, that's dumb, because anytime you miss, you're literally just going to hit yourself. But of course they don't, for whatever reason. But everyone gets their ass kicked again. Then Tai figures out, hey, I'm in an isekai. I'm just going to go into the internet. Not explained how he did that. And they even explain that they don't know how he did that.
Yeah.
But he did. He gets in there. He hugs it out with War Greymon. Matt does the same thing with Metal Garurumon. And then they're like, hey, you got the strength. You can do it. Everyone believes in you. Except for that one dude who sent like a really mean email.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to worry
Yeah,
about him, because there's millions of others. And so their bodies float into their heads, and then they turn into arms, and then they turn into Omnimon. And the first time I saw that, I nearly peed myself as a kid, because that was amazing.
Fanboying out.
Oh, you bet your sweet ass I did. And then they all, the Boromons fire at the Omnimon, and he shoots it back with a sword, and then he's got a cannon, and then it's just like, it blows them the shit up. And then they're down to one, but they can't catch him. They can't catch him because he's too fast. And I'm like, why are you sitting in the middle of the room constantly turning around? Just get over to one of the walls. You'll be able to see him at any different angle. But they don't. And it's getting down to 10 seconds. So they're like, hey, we'll forward all the emails that we're getting to him, because that won't take us too long, right? They do it. Slows him down. They fly in with the sword when you could have just shot him. But we need tension, and we need that like final image, which is pretty cool. And they like jam the sword through his head. And the clock, it stops the second hand inside of his head that stops the thing from ticking that would have blown everybody up. The nuke falls, doesn't blow up. Everybody watches an ICBM fall into their river. Everybody's safe. The electronics all go back to normal, except for the microwave that might have destroyed the whatever cake Ty's mom was making. And everyone has a collective sigh and possible vomit. Because the day has been saved. They're not explained how Ty got out of the internet again. He just kind of shows up. But yeah, end on a happy song. Everything's great. Willis is happy. They're all happy. Everybody's happy. We're hopping through a field, and then suddenly an evil tornado eats one of Willis's Pokemon. Digimon. Fuck. I was waiting for one of those slip-ups.
there.
Yep. I just got my recording software back working correctly, and I need to. I don't know. I might start the next Pokemon game soon. It's on my mind a little bit. Anyway, that leads us into part 3, which is the middle of part 2 of the overall series, where they go to America, which they also did in part 2 of the series, but they never saw Willis again. I'm just going to warn you right now. Other than a quick name drop, he is not in the second series at all.
Really?
So, people are on vacation. Everybody's kind of just chilling, doing their thing. TK and Kari are grown up-ish now. Not grown up-ish now. They're in middle school. Never mind. They're older than they were before. And they're in America, unsupervised, at the age of 11, as you do.
Yep.
I'm just realizing, how young these kids were throughout this entire... first series, fine. They got sucked into a magical world. You can't really help that. But the second series, there's a lot of people just going around doing stuff. Where are their parents? These people are 10. Or a little older than that. But it's you're not an adult, but you're just traveling to America, in Midtown Manhattan.
I mean, it's the
wherever else
ultimate
they
joke
were.
about. I mean, look at Pokemon. The main character's 10, and he's going around catching around dangerous
32,
creatures.
But whatever.
Touche.
I mean, let's be honest. It's anime. When have there not been kids running around the countryside, going to foreign lands, doing whatever?
Speaking of running around the countryside for your life, we see Willis a little bit older. Again, a child. But he is currently running from a giant ape rabbit? I don't know how to describe Kokomon. He's an ape rabbit with a Gatling gun in his chest, stomach thing.
Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's got his other rabbit, Terriermon, who is much more prominent in season 3.
I love Terriermon.
Oh, you'd like him so much. He got the Hakuna Matata line in that other series. That's actually a good one. I think season 3 was the best. Digimon Tamers. But that's a debate for a later time. Yeah, so Kari gets a weird feeling while they're just hanging out in New York. And, could be Willis, could be the Dark Ocean arc that they never actually finished in season 2. Could be a number of things. But they go see him, and Terriermon and Kokomon fight, and Kokomon is just beating the shit out of people. And he's like, go back to the beginning. He doesn't say it like that. He says it much more creepy. Then he just kind of, bugs out. TK and Kari are like, hey, come here, we can help you. And he's like, fuck off. And he runs. And then they're like, hey guys, we need you to get to America because we can't chase this kid who clearly can't run much faster than us. And we'd probably be able to catch up to him very easily. But whatever, we're going to go to Colorado for some reasons. I don't know whether they explained it or not. I don't know how they know where they're going.
Yeah, I don't understand that, but that's fine.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I missed a line of dialogue or something. Everyone just kind of shows up where they're supposed to. I'm really having to think about this.
No,
I don't know. Let me know in the comments if I
was
missed
kind of
something.
rushed.
But yeah, they gotta go to Colorado because that's where Willis is going because they know Willis, I guess, but they don't know Willis, so something. It's
they're following him.
They say in the series 2, I learned of this thing from a friend of mine named Willis. He lives in America. Maybe you'll meet him someday, and that's the only mention of it ever.
Yeah.
No one thinks about that. I don't know.
I was thinking about it.
No, you were thinking about it because we're nitpicking the issues of the plot. But I'm like, none of the characters thought, oh, do it in America, Colorado, Digimon. Hey, do you know Izzy? But no one did it. Anyway, they're heading that way, and they run into Willis on their planes, trains, and automobiles escapades, trying to get there. And yeah, he's kind of like, yeah, no, you stay away from me. But also, I'm really friendly. Also, I'm not friendly. I don't know. He's a little all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, life on the run, man. It does things to you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he orders a pizza to get them a ride, and him and Davis miss their ride, and then Kokomon shows up and beats the shit out of Vmon and Flamedramon, which is such a shame because that's Steve Bloom voicing him, and that's what a shame.
That was Steve Bloom.
Steve Bloom is all of Vmon's Digivolutions, and Black War Greymon in the second series. God, I just need to rewatch Digimon. I think it's on Hulu. I might have to rewatch Digimon, like all of it. Yeah, I might do that. But yeah, so then Terriermon turns into Gargomon and shoots him with his Barrett guns. They're Gatling guns, but it's kind of like a rabbit Barrett. Rabbit. There's a way to make a pun out of his name somehow. But yeah, so shooty bang bang rabbits, and then they leave, and then Vmon turns into a dragon horse, and they ride off into the sunset to find their friends, which they somehow do despite not having GPS or anything else. Or it's convenience. They're just gonna do it for convenience. It's fine.
Maybe the Digimon can sense each other.
I don't know. If that was true, they wouldn't have a problem finding each other so much in the other series. Anyway, they all meet up. They have their little moment where it's like, hey, explain to us what the problem is. And he's like, hey, these were my Digimon. I tried to make another Digimon. It turned into an evil monster after a virus took over. Then the virus got mad at me, despite being, a virus, I guess. And it took over my Digimon and hunted me ever since. So that's been his life up until this point. They're like, that's so sad, but we're gonna, let's help this guy. And he kicked our ass a bunch, but I think if we work together, because that's always how it goes. So they try. It digivolves into a skinny bunny. I forget what it's called. Lopomon, something like that. They don't name it in here, but he was in a later series.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they fight it, get beat up a little bit, then he fucks off into the water and comes out as the villain of Digimon Series 4, Cherubimon. Again, not named here, but he's a jester clown giant asshole. Yeah. Beats everybody up, gets himself ripped apart by two angels, reforms everything because he's unstoppable, and then he reverses time, which I didn't think was a power that people had, but I guess he does. And Angemon and Angeluomon digivolve into Magnadramon and Seraphimon, and to get the golden Digi-Eggs out, which was not a thing in the series. The golden Digi-Egg was the thing in the series, but that's not how you get it. It was kind of like the uranium in this flying fortress that the Digimon Emperor had. I'm like going into a lot of other stuff. But yeah, so they get Magnamon and Rapidmon, which Rapidmon, that's not how you're supposed to... Well, Rapidmon came back in Series 3, but he was in Ultimate form. He wasn't in Armor Digivolve form. It's a little inconsistent where Rapidmon is supposed to fall on this spectrum. He's essentially the same, just one version's green and one is gold. I would assume that Ultimate version Rapidmon would be stronger because he's a level higher, because technically all Armor Digivolve Digimon are actually just champion level Digimon, just from a different perspective, just like a different form of evolution, which you only had to do that because the Dark Towers the Digimon Emperor was throwing out, which I think he might still be a thing at this point, because I'm trying to think, because everyone else Armor Digivolves. You got Wholesomon and Digimon. Digimon says Drill of Power, which is something he did early on in the series. Eventually switched to Drill of Knowledge because he's a Knowledge Armor Digivolve. But I forget when he did that, whether that was before or after. But that would kind of tell you whether they had already beaten Ken or whether he was still a threat or whether he had joined the team yet. And it's a whole thing. That or it's a dubbing mistake. I don't know. Anyway,
Okay.
out of the nerd hole. Out of the nerd hole. How much did
Are
you guys
sure?
actually
It sounds
follow
like you
of
never
that?
left.
I have never left
Yeah.
anywhere. I am still in the hole.
It's like I'm like it's like Dark Helmet right now. Do you get all that?
I'm skipping a lot of stuff. Okay? You have no idea how much more there is than that.
Oh, I can imagine.
I imagine this is what it's like when someone tries to explain, like, JoJo Part 7 to someone who hasn't seen Part 1.
Yeah, maybe.
Just JoJo in general.
I mean, if you explain it from the beginning, I'm sure JoJo is perfectly easy to follow.
It is.
But, you know, if you jump straight to, I don't know, what's something that's going to come out later? Steel Ball Run? When you don't know Phantom Blood, Battle Tendencies, Stardust Crusader, Diamonds Unbreakable, Golden Wind. Was there another one between them?
Stone Ocean.
Stone Ocean. All that stuff. Yeah, I know cursory knowledge. I'm a nerd and I got nerd osmosis.
Okay.
But yeah, I just have weird random knowledge for like stuff that I haven't even seen sometimes.
All right.
But yeah,
That's fair.
where was I? Digimon.
The nerd hole.
Yeah, coming out of your nerd hole.
Golden Armor Digivolves. Fight. Still can't beat him. We'll beat him from the inside. Wow, how convenient. We just got eaten. And then they're like, they see his spirit or something inside amongst the virus, which actually looked like the D-Reaper from Season 3. Or did it? It looked like something that I've seen before. But they're like, let's blow it up, and that'll make everything better. And it does. And I didn't realize before how quickly this climax got resolved.
Yeah.
So, nice Cherubimon disintegrates. And everything's back to normal, and they're like, hey, don't worry, Digimon never really die. Which they don't, because you can't kill Data. I don't know, there's ones and zeros. Ones and zeros with a soul, I guess. So everyone leaves. They go back. You know, Willis goes back to doing stuff in America. Everybody leaves back for Japan, presumably. And then Kokomon comes back and starts singing Smash Mouth. And that's the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was.
There was a lot of
something.
like
We should talk
90s
about-
music in this.
There was one. I saw
It was
one dude
amazing.
One dude
It
described
was-
this movie as it's 90s music bingo.
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's so random. But if you gave someone a random sheet full of like 90s music, like you could play bingo with it.
Yeah.
Amazing soundtrack. I'll start
Oh, it's
there.
wonderful. I am not complaining at all about the soundtrack. It's amazing. It's wonderful. I still listen to a lot of that music. But it
When
is
I
really
heard
random.
1 week, I heard one
We
week,
got
I
Bear
was
Lake
like,
in
oh
the
yeah.
80s. We got Mighty Mighty Boss Stones. There's a lot of ska music in here. We got
And
oh, so many. I have almost the entire soundtrack just downloaded.
yes.
It's wonderful. This is one of only
That's
4
very
movies
good.
to include All-Star. I kind of had
It
a...
was
You know
very
what?
good.
I got a... Me and Yin had a thing where we were like... We'd like... The AMC had like one of those like Wednesday classic movie screens where they were showing Shrek. So we're like, well, we have to go. And we did. And we listened to this All-Star, and like it was kind of in our heads afterwards. And I'm like, there's only like 4 movies that had that. It was Shrek, All-Star, Shrek, Digimon, Rat Race, and Mystery Men. And I'm like, we should just watch all those movies. That way we could see the quadrilogy of All-Star. So at this point, I've seen all 4. Yin has now seen 2. So we still gotta hit Mystery Men and Rat Race. Both of which
Yes.
are good in their own right, I think. They're interesting. So.
I liked also, I guess I'm gonna get into this some more, but,
into it, man.
at the very end, when the Kokomon, I guess, was dancing to All-Star, I guess technically is he called something else in that form?
No, they really
believe
only just
that's
refer to him as
Kokomon.
Kokomon.
Though
Okay.
it's possible that Kokomon was the rookie Digimon, who was
Yeah, that's what
basically a
I'm thinking.
brown version of Terriermon, if I'm remembering correctly, from Season 3. There might be a different real name for that champion
'Cause-
level.
There probably
'Cause-
is, but
I'm gonna
Willis
look it
only
up.
ever refers to him as Kokomon.
Well, he wasn't exactly with
Yeah.
him when he digivolved, I bet, so...
Yeah, but anyway, Willis says he's tone deaf.
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny, and that's there are so many like parts to this movie where I was just
Kokomon's the
laughing.
in training version. I mentioned Lopmon. That is the brown and pink version of Terriermon, which digivolves into... Oh! This one's called Wendigomon.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So
Okay.
he's a Wendigo.
Oof.
That's...
Okay.
That's intense.
Yeah.
That becomes...
Big intense.
Antilomon. And then Cherubimon.
gotcha. Other funny parts I thought were really funny was when Ty was speaking, he was on the phone, and all the, like, I guess the phone was out, like, and the operator kept saying,
Oh.
all circuits are busy, try again later.
All
And then,
circuits are still
like,
busy. Try again
still
later.
busy.
Did you hear me?
Yeah. 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 And then, just everything with the bizarre recipes and Izzy enjoying them was really funny.
Until Mother Nature hit.
Yep.
Yeah. There was the part, and I'm jumping around. Okay, there's one part that was like,
covered the entirety of the plot. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
spoilers. I don't. It's like a 20-year-old movie at this point. When did this come out? Oh my god.
I think 2000.
Yeah, 2000. This is a 20-year-old movie.
Yeah.
My god.
When Izzy asks Ty if he knows what a semiconductor is, and Ty goes, "A guy who works part-time on a train."
Yeah. To be fair, I don't know what a semiconductor is. Though I do know I don't think Izzy knows as much as he's supposed to, or maybe the people writing his lines didn't, because I think he wanted to transfer the emails into local memory, which I'm not sure if that means he wants to fill up his RAM with it. Someone who knows about computers in the comments, correct me. But is he trying to fill up his RAM with the emails? Because I feel like that would slow down the computer exponentially more.
I'm just gonna give you an explanation for why he probably said that. They're
they
trying to
don't
fill
know.
the lip flaps.
His head was turned away from the camera. There were no lip flaps.
I don't know, maybe they're just pulling shit out of their ass.
Well, yeah. But
Anyway, I'm gonna get back into the more quotes here.
Okay.
this
So
feels like,
there was
this kind of feels like how I was whenever I was watching Tokyo Mew Mew for the first time. Just like, let me find all the quotes that I just love the best.
Yeah, there was a part where Ty said to Matt, like, "Those are really weird friends you have." And then Matt was like, "These are the best friends I have, considering this is the only place in town with a computer."
Yep.
Because he had to go to, like, the center with, like, all these randos and old people because it was the only place with a computer, and I just thought it was really funny.
What about the barber cutting people's ears off?
Yeah.
I just like it whenever like Matt goes into the computer. He's like, "Hey, where'd your brother go?" Like, I don't know if you guys saw him in the background. He's really weird.
Yeah. And then later on, Willis, when Terriermon Digivolve, says, "Huh? He has pants now."
That's how
Yeah.
Digimon work.
God.
Garurumon did
like,
the same thing when he turned into Were-Garurumon. He was a werewolf with pants. He
And it was
kicked
just-
people.
It was just so funny how he said it. Also, whenever I can't remember Kokomon's Digi evolution names, but he Digi evolved and he was like juggling them, and Willis goes, "This is all my fault," and Davis goes, "Why? Did you teach him how to juggle?"
See, it's like, I remember a bunch of lines every now and then where it's like they don't work, and then there's other ones just work. I think it's just one of those things. They just throw everything they have at the wall, see what sticks.
I think, like, the one part that kind of got me, that I was, like, crying, laughing unintentionally, was the part where Davis is, like, kind of freaking out, and he's, like, sort of sobbing, and he's, like,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
Yes.
leaning his head against the tree, and he's like, "Hey, dude, it's you know, you're okay. Like, none of this is your problem." And he's like, "You know what, you're right." And he's just smiling again, and I'm like, "What is
Guys,
Yeah.
you have no idea. He is the most self-actualized person there is. Like,
I love Davis.
I feel like you guys probably... Well, I don't know if you will or not. Do you guys think about watching Digimon as a series?
I thought about it when I was watching it. I was like, I like these characters. I kind of want to see more of them.
Part of
My
me wants
whole
to
thing
tell
is
you
just, like-
how they beat the big bad in season 2, but if
Yeah.
you're actually gonna like watch it, then I don't want to tell you.
Like, my whole thing is like, I remember some of the Digimon,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember specific characters,
Yeah.
but I don't remember at least most of the kids from Series 2.
Yeah.
So...
I watched everything. I even
Like,
watched I didn't watch that Data Squad season 5 thing.
Like, some of the Digimon from Series 2 look very familiar,
Oh yeah.
but the kids don't. So I'm like, okay, I probably have seen this. I just don't remember, or I'm thinking of the other kids from Series 1 instead.
They are
Because-
kind of some degree of like facsimile sort of thing. I mean, Davis is Tai 2.0.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, do you want to know how Davis saves the day in season 2?
No, don't
Okay.
tell me.
All right.
Who knows? In
You're
case
gonna-
we ever
you're
actually
gonna love it.
watch the show.
You're gonna love it.
Um,
Don't spoil it in the comments. Let Gav find out on his own. Who knows?
Or we
maybe
could
we'll
all
do
watch
anime
it
Yay or
together
Nay.
at some point.
Well, here's the thing. That's season 2. That's like episode 104 or something.
Oh.
We got to
it's
get
a
through all 50 to
long
52
anime.
episodes of the first series, and then you got to get through the second series. I'm going to watch the third series,
Yeah.
even if I got to do it on my own. I think it's the best series. But did anyone find any familiarity with the second part of this movie?
You mean with the virus?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was more of what I remembered.
No, I mean, just the plot in general. Does that seem familiar to anybody? Because I got a little trivia on
It
that.
reminded me of Summer Wars.
The guy who directed that OVA went on to make Summer Wars a couple years later.
That
Nice.
explains why the background for the digital world
Yes.
looked exactly like the background from Summer Wars. I was like,
Yes.
this looks very familiar. Why is
It
this a
did.
thing?
This was basically that one. The OVA was called Our War Game, and it's pretty much the prototype for what he wanted to do for Summer Wars. So
Okay.
convenient, there was an internet-based monster property that he could work with.
Yeah. Wow. Now that you mention it, animation style does look a bit similar. Yeah.
I think among all of them, I think they have somewhat consistent animation between the three, so it doesn't look super jarring, but there are differences in each of their animation styles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
OVA.
Like, you can tell with the
Which
first
the fact
two
they had a
that the
time skip
animation's
so
a lot
people look a
simpler.
little different kind of allows you to hide it a little bit. But, I don't know.
Are there, like, Digimon virtual pets?
I think there were
I
toys
had
for
one.
that.
I had the blue Digivice from Series 2 with Vmon on it. God, I nearly got every Digi-Egg on there, too. I think, like, the only one I was missing was the golden one. I couldn't figure out how to do that. I couldn't get the random roulette thing on there to work. Something like that. They were basically Tamagotchi 2.0.
Yeah.
I want one.
They probably still sell them.
I mean, you can probably find them on eBay.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know, Al, there was a reboot that came out this year of Digimon?
I do know about that. That wasn't this year. That was earlier.
I was gonna say that was like a couple
Digimon
years
Try.
ago.
That was a couple years ago.
No,
Yeah,
a new one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, Sequel
Another
Try
one.
or something, or what?
No, it's a full-on reboot that tells the origin story of the first season.
Dude, I already watched that
Yeah,
when
it's
I was a
only-
kid. What's going on here?
It's only 9 episodes.
That's
Oh,
because
so
it got
it's
delayed.
just-
Well, it got
It's
delayed
a-
because of COVID, and it's
Oh.
just
Yeah.
coming back now. So
Is it going to be a long range series, or is it like a short form like Pokemon Origins?
I don't know. I just heard that it's. I heard from a lot of Digimon fans it's the best show since the original series. So
That is a bold statement.
I'm just telling you
That
what
is
I've
a
heard.
bold statement.
I mean, this was the first Digimon thing I've ever seen in my entire life. So
Well, has it got you the taste and the itch for it? You got the Digi fever yet?
I can at least say why it became such a phenomenon and why there was a civil war between Digimon and Pokemon back in the day.
Is it a civil war? It was a war between two opposing nations. Let's be honest here.
I think the movie probably serves you best if you are familiar with the show, like or if you've seen the show.
That's almost the whole reason that I wanted to show you guys it, because I knew you guys didn't have the deep rabbit hole that I had as a kid.
Yeah, but they have at least seen some of it when they were a kid. I've never seen any of Digimon.
I've never seen any of it.
Oh, I thought you have.
No.
I was the one who was the weirdo who watched the Saturday morning cartoons.
I watched a Saturday morning cartoon. I woke up for that shit.
Yeah, I was like, cartoon time!
Yeah, give me that. Give me that Digimon. Give me that Power Rangers. Give me them Beetleborgs for those few seasons.
Yeah.
You guys ever watch Beetleborgs? It's on Netflix
No.
now. They did not translate it to digital very well. It's got that thing.
I just watched 4Kids.
4Kids, I think, like, mostly worked with WB and some other stuff. They might have worked with Fox on something, but I doubt it. I think that was mostly dominated by Saban.
4Kids, like, there was something else in place of 4Kids before 4Kids was a thing. I forget exactly which ones it was, though.
Do I just need to look up 4Kids again? I feel like for anime yay or nay, I have looked up 4Kids so many more times than I should. 4Kids Entertainment.
Like, that's the
Censor,
entertainment.
banded.
I'm talking about, like, the channel slots. Like, what was the network? Like, did the network have another name, or was it always 4Kids? Because I, for some reason, remember it not being that.
I mean, it was usually on, like, a block of TV. Like, I know Fox had... it was, like, Kids WB. Wasn't that the thing?
Well,
That was where you saw
No.
Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff?
that was on a different channel. Like,
Yeah,
there were a couple
WB
different
network.
channels that all had Saturday morning cartoons. Kids WB was one of them.
Yeah, it
But it wasn't
started
the
with
only
Fox. I know Disney Channel had a thing for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Fox's direct competitor for a while was Kids WB because they snagged Pokemon, and that cornered almost the entire market. And they were kind of playing catch up. I mean, they started it. They had Batman. They had, the Power Rangers stuff. They had like a bunch of really good things on there. And then, since Warner Brothers owns Batman, they took Batman away. They still had X-Men, but they took Batman, and they had like Animaniacs and Tiny Toons and Pokemon, all sorts of other stuff. I actually think overall, Kids WB had the much better lineup, like just of overall shows. But Fox has its major highlights back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, they had that one too.
Yeah. Hang on. I'm just trying to see.
Are you talking about a licensing company or the channel they were on?
I'm talking about all of the different licensing companies because all of them were on different channels.
Yeah, it was very territorial. I remember seeing Saban on like everything Fox.
Yeah. I'm trying to find like specific ones because it was like I know there was the one for Kids WB, and then like what was it, like the Fox one obviously, but then there were there were a few others.
For dubbing companies, that's only for like imports. So if you had an original animation, you wouldn't be using Saban or 4Kids.
No.
To dub it. So yeah, it probably was just Saban doing Fox stuff, and 4Kids did all of WB's stuff.
Yeah.
Again, feel free to correct us in the comments, because we don't actually know what we're talking about, ever. Other than me digging myself a nerd hole, trying to figure out where it exists in the series based on what Digimon, who barely had a thing in this, had to say.
I like Cherubimon's, like, virus form.
Yeah, that's the villain for the entirety of Digimon Frontier. Well, not the entirety, most of it.
Oh, found a couple.
Cool. It's cool looking.
Yeah, kind of like an evil Alice in Wonderland kind of vibe.
I love it. I love rabbits and I love jesters.
Well, there you go. You got the perfect Digimon. Is that your favorite Digimon now?
No.
What's your favorite Digimon now?
I like Terriermon.
Terriermon can become a Cherubimon.
You're right.
I think. Actually, no. No, he doesn't. If I'm...
No.
I'll text you. What was his name? God. I have to lose my Digimon card if I can't remember this.
Oh, okay, so I am
Gargomon,
on... Guys.
Rapidmon.
Yeah.
Alright, so I am on Wikipedia, and I'm just looking this up now.
Mega Gargomon. How hard is that to remember?
By networks, we had ABC Kids, which did a lot of Disney stuff. We had CBS, which had its own thing. We had the Fox Kids, which turned into, basically, was the one that had, like, some of Digimon and Transformers. And then it sold its children's division, Fox Family Channel, to Disney, semicolon. The network then leased its remaining Saturday morning block to 4Kids. That's where that came from. And then the CW had Kids WB.
Okay.
So, and then NBC also had a thing, which was Discovery Kids.
Yeah, but how many people watched that?
I did.
What was on it?
The Crocodile Hunter.
Oh my god,
Hunter,
I did watch that.
Tuttenstein. They had a couple different things. It was good.
The only name that you mentioned there that I recognize is
PBS Kids.
Crocodile Hunter.
But that's, every day. But yeah.
He was by far the most popular show on that channel.
Gav, look up Mega Gargomon. That's Terriermon becomes a Gundam.
Yeah, I see that.
He's like a 3-story tall giant missile robot. It's kind of great.
And then there were the angels.
Oh yeah, they were from the original series in that.
Yeah, they're like the ones that I remember the most.
Mm-hmm.
So when I saw them, I was like, oh, I remember these guys. I forgot you existed.
Yeah, it was like one of those things, like, you're watching the series and you're like, okay, I kind of get how the dinosaur Digimon turns into a bigger dinosaur Digimon. I get how the furry Digimon turns into a wolf. You know,
Yeah.
every furry's dream. I get how the bird Digimon turns into a giant bird. Bug into bug, sea mammal into sea mammal, plant into cactus. You know? Am I missing someone? No, I'm not. And then you got a cat and a bat-eared marshmallow. And they turn into angels.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, I guess it's one of those stories of like, don't pick on that kid in high school. You don't know if he's going to turn into an angel.
I mean, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know.
And I do remember
I just
the
like-
bird.
What's
I
up?
like Terriermon.
I remember the bird one, but
Which
I don't
bird one? The bird one in here or the pink bird one from the original series?
the pink
Does that
bird.
turn into a phoenix? Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one. But then there was the one in this movie, and I'm just like, for some reason I remember you being in the original and not with
Kinda
this group of
looked-
kids.
Yeah, Hawkmon kind of looks like Biomon, but different. I don't know. They just had to have a bird on the team. There always got to be like some kind of bird or some kind of... I don't know. Well, season 3 didn't have a bird, I don't think. Get on season 3. Changing things up. But yeah. No, I remember I had this and I had one VHS of, you know how they used to collect like 3 episodes of a series onto one VHS? And that's like
Yes.
all you would watch? Like no context to anything else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I had that where they were fighting one of the third big bad, the vampire. Angelomon became a thing. War Greymon and Metal Garurumon became a thing, and then they went back to the digital world right afterwards to fight the Dark Masters. Which I took issue with that one line where they're like, oh, this jellyfish thing, he could be as dangerous as the Dark Master. I'm like, that's really presumptuous. Those guys nearly murdered you people so bad. And you're just assuming this rookie level jellyfish is going to be that bad. Now, I'll grant you, he turned into something probably nearly as bad. Not as creepy as Piedmon was, but definitely dangerous. But assuming that from the get-go, I don't know, Izzy. I don't know. I feel like Izzy might have dropped the ball in this series a little bit. This OVA section of his. I don't think he's doing computers right, but at the same time, he's doing them so right that he's technically a terrorist. You know, I don't know. Something's up with him.
I
Anyway,
don't know.
this is a yay for me. It's always been a yay.
I liked it. I'd give it a yay.
Anyone else? Do we have some
I mean-
naysayers?
No, I mean, I give it a yay, but
You
like,
don't have to yay just because I like it.
I mean, I mean, I had fun with it. I mean, obviously, I was, lost in a lot of stuff because, first time ever seeing the show. I mean, the first part was basically an origin story, but like the second and third parts, obviously, I would have understood it a lot more if I watched the show. But it was entertaining, and the soundtrack was so freaking insane that I couldn't help but chuckle at times.
You know, I'm gonna drive home tonight and I'm gonna rock out to it. I know I am.
Do it.
Do it.
I'm gonna.
Pull down your windows and blast Smash Mouth at the top of your speakers.
Oh, not just Smash Mouth. Let us not forget the Bare Naked Ladies. Let us not forget the Mighty Mighty Boss
Yes.
Stones. Let us not forget. I forget who sings "All My Friends Are Metalheads." What else was there? Was a whole it's a good soundtrack. We've covered this. This. God, I'm looking at the timeline. This is a long ass episode we just made about this.
Well, we have been rambling about how old we are.
You've been rambling. I've been rambling. I don't know if this is going to be our longest episode, but I'm going to be happy if Digimon's our longest episode.
Nope, it's I looked through our timeline while recording this. It's going to be our second longest.
Which one's our longest?
The episode 50 where we talked about the finale of Paranoia Agent, and then 2 episodes of Magia Record.
You know what? When we were talking about Magia Record, we could go on for a while because there was a lot of theorizing going on for that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But this will be our second longest.
Buy a Digivice.
Did you found a Digivice?
It.
I'm doing it. I'm
We could all
buying
do, like, they're pretty distinct looking. If conventions ever become a thing again, we could all just do a group thing.
it. Yes.
I don't know
like
who
that.
wants to put on the giant hair of Ty, but someone's
Are you
feeling...
volunteering as tribute?
I did not say that at all. Believe it or not, I'm a Joe man. But, yeah, I don't know. We could see. Well, you know, we'd have to pick which series. We'd have to go through each series and, you know, pick out the group that works the best, I think, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Could be a number of options. Anyway, we should talk about what we're... I think I've run out of brain power at this point.
Well, it's okay. Gav can pretty well
Yeah, you go
explain
for
this
it.
movie.
Oh, okay.
2 weeks from now, what are we doing?
We're doing the Shin Megami Tensei Tokyo Revelations,
Yeah, that whatever that is.
which you can find it on YouTube, or if you're as lucky as me, maybe you'll find it at a thrift store for like 25 cents on a VHS tape.
God damn. Is it that bad?
But maybe not. You can find it on YouTube.
Do
if
you
you
recommend sub or dub? Because I think both's on there. We have an option.
Gotta
unlike this
watch.
week.
You gotta watch the dub.
Oh, hell yeah. I love me a good,
Definitely.
hilarious dub from 1995.
Yes. Yes, watch the Shin Megami Tensei Tokyo Revelations English dub. I think Ghost Murmur is the one who posted it.
Okay.
So, yeah. It's like 58 minutes long. It's because it's like an
pretty short
OVA. Yeah, it's an OVA to like the Tokyo Revelations, like to the Shin Megami Tensei manga. And it's very interesting.
So we're
I'm
gonna be
lost as
lost.
hell.
I've watched it many a times. Oh. I've watched it many a times.
I am also going to be lost. It's fine.
I mean,
You don't
kinda
really
just-
need to understand anything about it. It kind of explains it.
Exactly.
I would
This is
hope
anime yay or
so.
nay. You don't need to know anything. I don't know anything, and I explain this stuff all the time.
But yeah. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. All right, well that's this
So-
week. That's next week. That's not next week. It's when is that? What day? What
2
day
weeks
is
from
2
now.
weeks from now? Today, the day this is coming out.
22nd?
Well, if today is
23rd?
the 9th.
23rd. There we
Yeah,
go.
the 23rd.
Yes, the 23rd. That is the day it's coming out. Yeah, because we're totally doing this on Sunday right now, aren't we?
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys next time with say the thing again.
Tokyo Revelation.
That. Yeah, well, oh, I could have said that. I thought we were doing the whole big title.
All right.
Tokyo Revelations. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and feel free to check out some of our other gaming videos, our weekly podcast, Anime Yay or Nay, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!